me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up just so I'm sure that you can hear me. If you can hear me loud and clear, if you can hear me loud and clear, give me a thumbs up, guys. Give me a thumbs up. I'll be waiting for you to do that before I commence this session. I can see quite a number already. So if you have not given me a thumbs up, or you're probably looking for where is the thumbs up, where is the button, maybe I want to give you another 5 minutes, no less than 5 minutes, probably less than 5 minutes, maybe say another 2 minutes to quickly locate that and give me a thumbs up. Okay. I can see a lot of that pouring in already. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Well, in case you are not using the same time zone or timeline like I am using, I'll probably now want to say a good morning or good afternoon or good night, right? Depending on where you are joining this session from. Okay, depending on the city you are and where you are joining this session from. Now, I would quickly love to hear from you. You don't have to unmute your mic and speak. A thumbs up or a thumbs down would be the best way to communicate with me, at least for now, till the time when I'm able to ask you, all right, to unmute your mic and speak with me or communicate with me. Okay, so I want to ask just a few set of questions, all right? I want to ask a few set of questions, and the reason why I'm asking these questions is basically because I want to be sure that everybody on this call with me, we are all on the same page. I want to be sure that we are all what? On the same page. You see, sometimes there are people that join sessions like this and they are not really in the same frequency, or we are not in the same page as maybe the others that have joined, or even we're not on the same page as the presenter, the person who is driving these sessions. So I want to know, I can see Oluwatosin, I can see Sheung, I can see Precious Gift, I can see Diamond Philip, I can see Chioma, I can see Pelumi, I can see Bang Koli, all right, I can see Lucy, Emmanuel Steven, Ada Koli, I can see Henry Clement, and a whole lot of other persons. In total, around 30 people are on this call as I speak. So for the 30 of us on this call as I speak, I want to quickly start with asking, how many of you are in that space, or you are in that phase where you think now is the time for you to get into tech? Give me a thumbs up if that is the case with you. You've looked at yourself, you've looked at the situation, you've looked at your job, what you are doing currently, and you have discovered that, see, the only thing that I am made up my mind I want to do now is to get into tech. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. I saw a few. Give me a thumbs up if you are in that same bracket as myself. If you are in that same bracket as myself, just give me a thumbs up. Good. Fantastic. I love what I'm seeing already. Now, aside that, how many of you, and I want you to be sincere, and I want you to be sincere with me, you think, okay, it's not something of next year, all right? It's not something I'm planning to start next year or next 2 years or next 6 months. It's something that if I get what I want, if I have the right information, if I have the right person by my side, I am willing to start as soon as today. If you are in that category that, you know what, I've looked at everything. The only thing holding me back is that I'm not sure yet. I don't have the right information. I don't have the right person. If you are in that position where you think with the right information, with the right person, you are willing to start as soon as now, right? Give me a thumbs up. Thank you very much, Sheung Abiola. Thank you very much. Is he only Sheung? Okay, I can see Precious. Okay, Bankole, Henry Clement. All right. Okay, Blessing. Fantastic. Emmanuel Steven, fantastic. Belumi, well done. Garba, fantastic. All right. Fantastic. Amazing reactions. So what I've been able to do is to first of all ensure that everyone, all right, who is in this session, they are actually people that are in the same position. We are of the same like minds and we share the same passion and the same dream. Okay, because at the end of the day, nothing helps you to change where you are except being in a room with people of like minds and like passion. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm officially welcoming you to a virtual taster session organized by Nabient Analytics, and then I'm here as the driver of this session. I'll quickly be sharing my screen as I proceed. You see, today on this call, I have a goal. I have about 30 people on this call, like I mentioned, and it is going to be my drive. It is going to be my desire that at least 10% of this 30, I am able to help you start your journey in tech tonight. You see, if I don't get that 10, this session for me would be an absolute failure, no matter how fantastic it is. My drive, my goal, my passion, the essence and the purpose why I am here is to make sure that I take at least 10 people to start their journey in tech this night, no matter what it will take. So this session is majorly for those that are hungry, is majorly for those that are really, really interested in getting this thing started. I'm going to be sharing a lot of information. I'm going to be sharing a lot of insight. I'll be opening your eyes to a lot of things. Okay, all you need to do is to sit back, relax, follow the session, and make sure that when it is time for you to make or take that step, you take the step. Take the opportunity and take the step. So let me quickly start with a brief, quick introduction of myself. So I will be sharing my screen right about now. I'll be sharing my screen right about now. Give that a few seconds to load. It's coming in 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's just give this a few seconds. It should be coming up now. All right, it is up. I can see my screen already. So if you can see something that looks like me, all right, that I'm sharing my screen and my cursor is moving, kindly give me a thumbs up just to signify that you can see my screen. Okay, Similoluwa Ogunleye. Thank you, Henry. All right, so that means my screen is up. Okay, so let me go straight to my slide. I'll be going straight to my slide and sharing with you what I have for you today. Ideally, this is the plan: building and evaluating an apartment price prediction model. You see, I'm going to be walking you through this tonight. I'm going to be opening your eyes to see the essence of what I have here, the essence of this project, how you can also start building amazing projects like this, right? But before then, let me quickly go straight to some vital things. I'll quickly be introducing myself to you, right? My name is Odafe Samuel. And I know that from your screen, from what you can see on your screen, I look like a very, very small fellow. But you see, this very, very small fellow standing or sitting or making this presentation to you has spent at least 7 years in the tech space. And I'm going to give you a brief history about that. Okay, so I would remember that my journey in tech really, really started in the year 2018. 2018, I had just finished from the university and I was thinking to myself, what am I going to do next with my life? Right. I would also remember that by then I had already started a small company in 2018. What was it that I do? At the time, basically all I did was teach people, prepare students for A levels, prepare students for JAM, prepare students for WAEC, what you know as a tutorial center, as it were. That was what I was running single-handedly, all by myself. And not just running a tutorial center, I was also, going to homes, tutoring kids, and preparing them for exams. So I stay on the mainland in Lagos, but over 60 to 70% of my clients were on the island. So it means that almost every day of the week, I am on the island in somebody's house teaching or tutoring their kids, and I was making money. As at 2018, I can beat my chest to say I was paying salaries of at least 50K to at least 3 people that were working under me. And this was 2018. However, I was making good money, right? And it's quite interesting. Now, why would someone who had started something switch into what he's doing currently, which is tech? It's very simple. Whenever I visit homes, and I'm being sincere, this was my drive, this was what pushed me. Whenever I visit homes to teach these children, and I see interiors, I see cars, I see buildings, and I'm fascinated. I'm like, what job exactly do these people do to open them up to this level of wealth and money that they are able to afford this luxury? Is it the same teaching that I'm doing that would open me up to this level of wealth to live a very, very comfortable life? Well, that question kept on popping in my mind every single day. Was I making money? Yes. But looking at the environment I came from, looking at the environment where I went to work, which is to teach maybe a child preparing for GCE or a child preparing for WAEC or all of these A-level exams and the likes. And I enter into the apartment, the car park, to the interior decoration, to the finishing, and everything always kept me thinking, what do I really need to do to move me from this place where I am into having a seat at the table with this set of persons, to make sure that I am having constant communication and I can also build a lifestyle that helps me to be comfortable. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that question, the end result of that question is where I am today, doing what I am doing, which is tech. And give or take from that year, 2018, 2019, I started making my move. This young man that you can see that is speaking to you right now is a web developer, all right? But I'm not even feeding from web development at all. What I am feeding from is data analytics and data science. The question will now be, oh, is web development bad? Why did you move? And all of that. It's a personal choice, but I will still share with you. The reason is simply because I was looking for a career path that puts me in the same room, on the same table as top-level executives of organizations. If I'm a web designer, just my line manager is okay to discuss with me. Oh, design this website, make these parts look this way, add this section to the website, put this image, make sure that it is scrolling, make it move to the left, make it move to the right. That's all, right? But as a data executive, as a data professional, every organization that wants to make progress would always sit down with their data analyst or data scientist to say, hey, we have given you the company's data. How can, or what decision can we make with this data that we have given to you? It is the data analyst that analyzes the data and gives recommendations to the owner of businesses, top level executives on what to do. So the projection of sitting in the same room with top level executives is the reason why I stayed behind, why I left my web development career path into data and data analytics, right? So here I am today. This same person here has worked as a consultant for Beiersdorf Nivea, all right, which is a German company here in Nigeria. Now, I have also been able to work as a service fulfillment analyst with a foremost telecommunication company in Nigeria, which is MTN. I'm sure everybody knows MTN. I worked as a service fulfillment analyst with MTN Nigeria. Now, this same person currently is a data scientist, and as we speak, my current role is the head of data science operations here at Navient Analytics. And I mean, with respect to my role here at Navient Analytics and across the past 7 years working in tech, I can beat my chest to say I've been able to help and mentor over 3,000 Africans to make the switch into tech. All right, to make the switch into tech, whether as a web developer or as a data analyst or as a data scientist. Those are my level or areas of expertise. But presently, my passion is to lead people, to mentor people in the area of data, because data, like they would always say, is the new oil. All right. So if you want to clap for me, it's fine. If you want to give me a thumbs up or celebrate, it's okay. Okay. But much more than the thumbs up and the clapping and the celebration, I want this story to spur you. I want this story to inspire you into making the leap, all right, to starting that journey now. It is never too late. Okay. But then the more you delay, I don't want to use the word the later it gets. All right. But then if now is the time that you feel you want to get started in this journey, I want this story about myself to inspire you and spur you into making that decision tonight. Like I said, I want you to be part of this 3,000. So it's my desire that out of the 30 people on the call tonight, at least 10 people are making the switch into tech this night. Okay, so Navient Analytics is the organization. Navient Analytics is the reason why I am driving this session with you. You see, as good as my portfolio sounds, as good as everything I've said sounds, if I call you by myself, you most likely will not respond and be on this call. But Navient Analytics is a very, very credible, top-level EdTech company in Nigeria is the reason why we are here. And they provided the platform for me also to share my experience, with a lot of persons. And trust me, I've been enjoying the journey so far. Okay. So what am I here to do today? If I want to take at least 10 people with me on this journey to becoming a data professional, what are the things that we want to try to achieve tonight? Number one is to build our predictive model. Sorry, I have diabetes there. I'll be making that change before sharing. Secondly, is to show you how you can get started. Then thirdly is to give a special announcement and also a Q&A session. But then that's going to be at the end of the session. Both my offering, my special announcement, and the question and answer session will hold at the third part of tonight's meeting, right? So let's start. The first part, like I said, is to show you how to build. The second part is to show you how you can also build. Then the third part will be a special offer, a special announcement from me, all right, and the special offer at the end. So what is a predictive model? I know that a lot of us, we have heard predictive model, and I'm most likely not going to use this big English that I have written here, right? So that I can break it down to the simplest possible form for even a 2-year-old to understand. Let me quickly use a a famous example, one of my favorites. By the way, before I proceed, my colleague is here on this call by name Enquiries. So you would see Enquiries Nebiant. And whenever you see Enquiries Nebiant, what the expectation is that in the chat section, they are posting a link for you to fill a form. It is not a scam link. It is not a spam link. It's a link for you to fill the attendance for this meeting. Why are you filling attendance? It is because I'm going to be sharing this slide that I am having, all right, this slide that I have prepared for this session. I'll be sharing it with you, one. Secondly, the codes I'll be using in my predictive model will be shared, that's two. Thirdly, the video recording for this session will be shared as well. It is only the people that registers, it is only the people that fills the attendance form. Those are the people that will get access to all these three materials: the slide, the video, and the code. So you want to quickly run, you want to rush to the chat section of this call, all right, and click on that attendance link to fill it up so that we can get across to you with all of these materials, okay? So that we can get across to you with all of these materials. So let me quickly take a pause there, hoping that a few persons is running to the chat section to fill that form. Okay, so let's discuss predictive model. Let's discuss predictive model. Pardon me, I might not be able to see all the charts that's popping up at the moment. I might not be able to see all the charts at the moment, and that's because I'm currently running on one screen, but please just follow me closely, all right? Follow me closely. What's a predictive model? The first question is, what is predicting? What are you predicting? Look at what I said. I said an AI model or predictive model is a computer program, first of all, or a system of algorithms that is trained on what? Large data sets to learn patterns, make predictions, or perform tasks without human intervention. What are the three things? You have a system of algorithm. You have a computer program. The reason why you have that program is, number one, so that you can learn patterns. Number two is so that you can make prediction. Number three is so that you can perform tasks without the intervention of any human being. Let me give an example of this. We have, like I said, over 30 people on this call. Of the 30 of us, I'm sure about 25 have lived with a baby before. Let's not say a baby. Let me say someone within a child within the ages of, say, 8 months to 1 year old, and let's say 2 years. You'd agree with me that by default, naturally, a child of 6 months would always pee on their pampers, right? And it's not an offense to the parents. It's not a crime. Once the child starts getting to 1 year old, the expectation is that some certain things are being learned by default. That, oh, when I want to pee, if I can't say it, maybe because of speech, I'm not able to build my speech yet because of that age, I should be able to say, oh, mama, or I should be able to say, oh, dada, or I should cry, and they'll start asking what's wrong, and I'll say peace, or something like that, right? Why or how does a child develop that ability? It is through constant learning of a pattern. It means that there is something that the child has done consistently that the parent has always corrected. And it gets to a point where that correction is now part and parcel of the child. So he has learned that, for example, if I put my hand in hot water, it is going to hurt me. Through what? Specific patterns, which means the child must have tried it before. That's how we learn patterns. Now, you would agree with me that the next time the child wants to pee, it can easily predict that, oh, the way I'm feeling, the way my body is feeling, what this thing is telling me is that I need to use the restroom. Then what happens? The child starts crying to avoid maybe being beaten or being punished by the parents. So the first part is that the child learns a pattern. The second part is now that after learning that pattern, the child is able to tell what is about to happen next. If I pee on my body, I will be beaten or I will be punished, making future predictions of actions, right? Then what happens is that the child performs a task. What is that task? Cry out, all right? Or run to the toilet or the bedroom and pee there. It's better to even pee on the floor in the bedroom than to pee on the floor in the living room. Let me use another example to make it easier. The average person on this call will most likely be 18 years old. Okay? Let's say 20 years old. If someone, maybe somebody can unmute a mic and speak at this point. Let's imagine that we have someone of 18 or 20 years old on this call. Please, I need somebody to unmute and speak to this question. The weather currently is a bit hot. Okay? Now, imagine that all of a sudden, from nowhere, you notice the breeze starts blowing very fast, all right? And the nature of that breeze is now cold or cool. Then you notice that, oh, dust is flying everywhere because the wind is blowing. Dust starts flying everywhere, right? Maybe the cloud is getting thick as well. Someone on the call should tell me, what are you expecting to happen next when you have that experience? Can someone quickly unmute and just share? What are you expecting to happen when you have that experience? Anybody wants to share? Anybody wants to share? The wind suddenly starts blowing in a certain kind of way, very cool, very cold. Alongside that, dust is flying around. The cloud is getting thicker. All right, the cloud is getting thicker. What are you expecting to happen? Yes, please. You can unmute your mic and speak. Or you want to text, drop a chat. Let me quickly check if someone has typed something. It's about to rain. Fantastic. Fantastic. It's about to rain, says Ife. Rain. I can see a lot of rain. Obot says rain. Abdallah says rain to fall. Adakole says about to rain. Fantastic. Now, the question is, how do you know it's about to rain? Who told you? Where did you get that ability to come to that conclusion? It is basically prediction. How is that happening? Someone of 20 years must have experienced rainy season and dry season and harmattan for at least 19 years of their life. That is taking historical data from age 1 to age 19. Something has been happening repeatedly. I've noticed that whenever the breeze changes the way it blows, whenever dust starts flying, whenever the clouds get thicker and all of that thing, that pattern tells me something that I'm expecting rain. So over 19 years, I've been able to learn a specific pattern that happens repeatedly. I've been able to experience that pattern. Now that I am 20 and I'm noticing that pattern, I am able to predict the next thing that wants to happen. And the prediction is that the next thing that wants to happen is what is rain. So this same human experience that we have, we can also translate it to the computer by what is called an AI or predictive model, such that we teach the system, we teach the model all the things it's expected to learn, so that when next it sees this thing or it sees that thing, it's able to tell what is going to happen next. So I would now say an average African or Nigerian man is scrolling through Instagram, and when he's scrolling by on Instagram, he likes Premier League. You know that when you like Premier League, you like Chelsea, you like Liverpool, you like Arsenal, you know that the next time you are going to go through your Instagram again, maybe the following day, you would see a post on Champions League. You most likely see a post on World Cup. You would most likely see a post on La Liga. Why is that so? The system, the algorithm behind Instagram has been able to tell that, oh, from all the posts that this guy has interacted with, he is a football lover. So everything related to football, they fire it into your content. So you start seeing it. Like I would always jokingly say, the only place where human beings cannot learn patterns, right? Please follow me. The only time when human beings do not learn pattern at all is when they are in love. When you are in love, you are blind. They used to say love is blind. You don't learn patterns. A babe that you have been chatting with and talking to for 6 hours in a day, suddenly everything reduced to 2 hours, from 2 hours to 1 hour, from 1 hour to 30 minutes. And the guy would probably still be saying, oh, she's busy. Maybe she traveled. Maybe the network is bad. Maybe there is no data. Maybe she doesn't have airtime. Maybe it's MTN. Oh, maybe WhatsApp is down. Why? Because love has blinded his eye. So you see, once you are not in love, you will be able to learn patterns quickly. You'll be able to see that, oh, from the way this baby is chatting me, she's about to leave. So you too, you make your own move. So you will notice that predictive model, AI model, no matter the big English, it is something that we experience on a daily basis. It's something that we do. Now, let us bring it back to data science and to building models. Please, I hope you are following me, and I hope the lecture is making sense so far. Give me a thumbs up. Please give me a thumbs up if it is making sense to you so far. Building models. So it means that after this session, if anybody asks you about predictive model, you have something to say. You have something to contribute to such discussions. Now, look at what I said here. I said these models learn by what? Analyzing patterns within the data they are given. So we pump data into the model, then the model starts picking what to learn. And then the model is able to predict based on the things that it has learned. So let's move. How do I develop a predictive model? This whole model idea is very fascinating, very interesting, but how do I develop it? Please, ladies and gentlemen, before I continue on this part, don't forget, like I said, to fill the attendance form. That's the only way you get a copy of my slide. That's the only way you also get a copy of the recording for this session. Please don't miss out on that. Very, very important and very vital. Now, one thing that we do is to train the data. The child that has been peeing on the bed, that is no longer, that we're expecting to stop peeing on the bed, but we expect the child to start crying and telling us he wants to go to the toilet, must be trained to do that. Else, he continues doing the same thing. So it's the same thing. Every human experience, you see this computer thing that we're talking about, this whole data thing that we're talking about, this whole AI thing, it's basically we are copying, we're trying to replicate the normal human experience. That's just it. The difference between yourself, for example, and myself is that you are still at the normal human experience. I have advanced from the normal human experience into doing it on the system with codes. You are probably still in the rainfall part where you understand what it is, but you don't know how to do it on the system. That's just the difference between both of us. If you are able to learn the same thing that I've learned, we're in the same place. All right, there is no superior at the end of the day. So you'd agree with me that the whole idea behind tech is basically take the same thing that I have been experiencing as a normal human being, come and put it on the system and let the computer system also do the same thing. That's tech for you. That's tech, right? So after training the data, the next thing is what? Pattern recognition. The data from what we have trained, the data is now able to recognize which pattern and what it means. Let me give an example to this. Like I said, I used to teach, right? And I used to prepare students for JAMB. And you would agree with me that JAMB is mostly a multiple choice question, OBJ, right? Option A to D. Then you pick, they'll give you 50 questions for maths, 50 questions for English, for chemistry, for biology, depending on your course. Now, you know that during lesson, we used to buy past question. When you buy that past question, it's expected that every student studies this past question. When they study the past question, you would also agree with me that at the back of past question, answers are always there. So if I study question 1, what is a noun? I go to the back, I check the answer. That's part of data training. I check question 2, who is a boy? I go to the back, I check the answer. Why am I checking the question and going back to check the answer? It's simply because I want to learn for each question what is the likely answer that is expected of me to give. The same way as human beings, we have learned over time what pattern we need to recognize to know that they will break up with you or not, or the pattern that you need to recognize to know that it's going to rain or not. So I read a question, I go to the back, check the answer, memorize it. Now, after that, the next part is pattern recognition. Sometimes I may not remember the full question. It might be, what is a noun? Once I see noun, I already know what the answer will be. I may not know the entire question. Do you get what I'm saying now? I may not be able to cram or memorize the entire question. But you see, there is something that I must be able to recognize. Once I see that thing, I can easily guess. I can easily tell what my answer will be. I can easily tell. I can easily guess what my answer will be. That's pattern recognition. So sometimes the question is like 3 lines in one word. Choose the relative sentence that best describes the term that is used in the passage above. I don't need to cram the whole question, because I mean, that means I will have to cram the whole question for 50 biology, 50 chemistry, 50 English, 50 mathematics. But there is something that I need to see. Once I see that word, I know, it's B, it's B, it's B, don't stress. Once I go to the next question, the chemical formula for the molecular biological organism in the Prismal, once I see all those things, I'll just check Prismal. It's A. That's pattern recognition. When I'm able to achieve that, the next phase will now be what? Learning and adaptation. I do it repeatedly so that I am used to it. Then the next phase is now what? Prediction. I enter my exam hall. Once I see these things, I'm able to tell the answer is A. I'm able to tell the answer is B. Then finally, the whole essence of data analytics, data science, predictive model is because I want to help top-level organizations to make decisions. So when I build this, my model has been trained. My model can recognize patterns, it learns, it adapts, it predicts, and all of that fantastically. The goal is that I want to be able to sell an idea to the organization to make a decision. Oh, the way these our customers are behaving from what our data is telling us is most likely they are planning to go to this next business to start patronizing them. Let us go and check what those guys are doing so that we can replicate it here and increase our customer base. Decision making. Oh, the reason why the sales is low in this period is because we are selling more of, let's say, beach wears, and it is rainy season. Okay, so maybe we want to now start looking at how to increase our market and production base into clothes and materials that fit this season. So after all your pattern recognition and all this big grammar, the only reason why you are doing all these things is to make sure that the organization you are working for makes a decision. Am I clear on that, guys? Is that clear? So guys, please, I'll need you to give me a second to quickly make a switch. I want to quickly make a switch in my material and also turn on my second screen at this point, so that I can also see everybody from the second screen. All right. So please give me a thumbs up if you have gotten everything I've said so far. And if it makes sense to you, give me a thumbs up. All right. Fantastic. Amazing. I love the feedback. I love the feedback. It means I'm a good teacher, right? It means I'm a good teacher. Great. So all those years of teaching maths and English in JAMB class has not wasted. Has not been wasted. Great. So at least now, if I tell you that I taught in JAMB class, you would not deny because of the way I'm delivering my session. All right. So just give me a second. I'll be sharing my screen again. I just want to quickly make a switch. Okay. I'll be sharing my screen again. Just a second to make the switch, please. If you are just joining while I'm doing this, maybe you want to also rush to the chat to fill the link or the form by my colleague. Like I said, we will be sending a recording that carries what we have done so far. All this discussion, all this explanation, all right? The recording will be shared. The recording will be shared, and it is expected that you get it as well. That's the only way that we get to know that, oh, this person truly was part of this session. And then you get a copy of my slide, a copy of this recording, and also my code. All right. So please rush to the chat, and get that done right away. So my screen is coming up now in a few seconds. This here. Okay, so I want to believe you can see my screen now, right? It has come back up. Now, so let's proceed with the lecture. Now, you would agree with me that at this point, we now want to see, okay, all these things that this guy has explained, everything that he has said so far, how exactly do I do it? How is it being done? All right, how is it being done? Let's quickly go straight to practical. Here is the part of the slide that you data set, exploratory data analysis. You need to carry this out. I'll be going to my codes now. Training the data and testing the data. Then the models we're going to be applying. Then we train the model itself, and we evaluate the performance of the model. And then after doing this, the next thing would be training and evaluating the data sets. This is not correct. Okay, we evaluate the data sets, and this is what we are going to come up with at the end of tonight's class, right? This is what we're going to come up with at the end of tonight's class. So just hang on with me while I take you through everything one after the other. Now, what I have here is what I call my codes. Okay, what I call my codes for tonight's session. So I'm going to be starting from the beginning. Now, how do I get here? Basically, you can use two tools, all right, two of them to achieve this. The first tool is to make use of Google Colab. What I have here is Google Colab. All right, Google Colab. And aside using Google Colab, you could also make use of Anaconda. All right, you could also make use of Anaconda to write all your codes in Python. So everything that I have written here is all done with what? Python programming language. All right, Python programming language. So let me quickly walk you through. The first thing that you should always do, I'm just going to be adding a few things here and there to make it more live simulated. The first thing that you would need to do, all right, is to import all necessary libraries. You see, without these libraries, you are not able to achieve anything in Python. Without these libraries, you are not able to achieve anything using Python. So I execute that, All right, I execute that. Once it works, we proceed to the next phase. Okay, it's coming up. Now, so after importing, while this is still working, okay, it has worked completely now. The next thing, I have all my library, import pandas as PD, import numpy as NP, you know, and the likes. The next thing that I want to do is to, which data sets? I want to build a predictive model. Which data set am I applying? Now, the data set is already on my system. I have downloaded the data set. In most cases, the organization you are working for will give you the data. That is their historical data. We started this organization in 1962. We started recording data in 2021 or in 2005. The historical data of the organization, they give it to you. You use that data to train your model in order for it to be able to make predictions. So this is the data, apartment prices, right? Apartment prices. So I need to bring that data into my work environment. And don't forget, my work environment is my Google Colab. Okay, my work environment is my Google Colab. What do I need to do? Let me just make this. What's going on there? What's going on? I can see a few reactions here. What's up? Am I audible? Okay, so what's up, Blessing? I noticed the reaction I'm not so sure about. Okay, great. Thank you, guys. So this data, right, I just want to bring it to this environment. I want to bring this data to this, and you probably just joined. Blessing, did you just join? How come you're lost? Now, I want to bring my data to this environment, right? So what do I need to do? Very simple action. Very simple action. I come here. Okay, there is this folder icon that I have here. This folder icon, I click on it. Don't worry if you're lost, you can always, what's the word now? You can always catch up with the video. Yeah, that's the word, catch up with the video once it is sent. Then I drag my data into that place. Just take my data, drag it here. You are going to get a warning, but it's all good. You have not committed any crime. Okay, so there's going to be a question and answer session so that I don't lose track of what I want to do. Now, so now that my data have dragged it into this part, I can close this, okay, and everything works perfectly from here. So I can just execute. Now, about importing, what you are importing basically are the libraries that enables Python to recognize what you're doing. Why is it so? Python can be used across multiple industries for different things. What Python means to me as a data scientist is different from what Python means to any other person, probably a DevOps engineer. Python is able to operate in web design. How is this possible? It is possible because of this thing called libraries. In a library, for example, you have different sections and you have different books, right? You have different sections, you have different books. You have books on theater, you have books on crime. You have books on economy, you have books on finance, you have books on sports, you have books on use of these libraries. Python can operate multifunctionally in different phases. Okay, so as a data scientist, these are my libraries that I need. It is going to be very different from what a web designer will need. While a web designer will be needing something else, what I need is pandas, numpy, matplotlib, scikit-learn, and the likes. These are my own. So I need to always show Python that, this is what I'm actually doing by importing the library. So once Python sees pandas, sees NumPy, and scikit-learn, it knows that what I'm doing is data science, right? Now, df.head simply shows me the first 5 rows of my data, 1 to 5 of my data. If I want to see more than 1 to 5, just put the number there. Let's make it like a 10. If I execute, it shows me the first 10, so you can see it starting from 0 to 9. So remember our project is to build an apartment prediction model, something that helps us to predict the price of an apartment. Oh, you know what? I live in, let's say, Washington, DC, United States of America. I want to rent an apartment. What are the things that we are looking at? The number of rooms. How many rooms am I looking at here? The parking space. Is there a parking space in the compound? Yes, it has 1 parking space. No, it doesn't have a parking space at all. Or yes, the parking space is actually very large. So this is that 0 is no parking space. 1 is that there is a parking space but not too large. 2 is that there's a parking space that is also very, very large. Now, the room or the apartment I want to rent, what is the width when we look at the size of the room? That's what this guy is telling us about. The number of conveniences. How many toilets are we looking at? You know, of course, even if it happens in Lagos, it happens in Nigeria. You can rent a 2-bedroom flat that has just 1 toilet. You can rent a 2-bedroom flat that has 3 toilets or restrooms. You can rent a 3-bedroom flat that has just 1 toilet and restroom. So we're looking at the number of convenience. It also determines the price sometimes. The age of the building. How long has the building been? Is it a new building? Is it a building that was built with mud and then modified with cement later on and blocks? What's the age? How long? How many years has the building been? Then the distance to center. Here we're looking at, okay, the location. Oh, it is somewhere in Ojuelegba. If I'm in Ojuelegba and I want to go to somewhere like Ikeja City Mall, what is the distance to the center of the city? Or for example, the building is in Ikorodu and you walk on the island. Island is like the main city center. Ikorodu is like a remote area, even though the both of them are still in Lagos, right? So what's the distance from the location to the center where there is attention and there's a lot of attraction? Then the third thing is we're looking at the location. Where is it located? Is it in a rural area? Is it in an urban city? Then the final thing we're looking at is all of these things. They are expected to help us determine what the likely price of our building or our apartment will be. So the essence of number of rooms, parking space, city center, the width, the building age, the essence of all of those is so that they are able to help us predict the likely price that we will pay for any apartment of our choosing, right? Now, in data science terms, everything I have here, number of rooms, parking space, width, number of conveniences, building age, distance to center, location, they are all called features. Those features, we want to use it to predict the price, and that price is called a target. So we are using all our features to predict for a target, okay, to predict for our target. So let's quickly rush through. Now, the next thing I want to do is to do what I will call a quick overview, right? Quick overview of my data. Quick overview of the data here. I'm looking at, you can see already, I'm looking at, okay, number of rooms. What is the total number of rooms we have? 2,000. Okay, that's what count is. It's looking at the mean, giving me basically a statistical review. This is basically statistics, standard deviation, the minimum room, the 25th percentile, the median, the 75th percentile and the maximum number of rooms that we have. So at least we have apartments with 1 room. Then the most that we have in all our apartments is what? 6 rooms. After that, I check a quick information about the data. So what is this telling me? This one is just basically telling me, oh, I have 2,000 entries, which means the organization I'm working with has already given me 2,000 data, or a data that has 2,000 rows. Now it's telling me that, okay, here I have 2,000 rows and non-null. This non-null here simply is telling me that no part of the data is empty. Okay, that no part of the data is empty. How do I mean? For some people, maybe we have like an agent association and they're asking them to fill a form, number of room, number of conveniences. They might mistakenly miss out on a value and not fill it up. So if they don't fill anything, it leaves that space empty for us. But here we're saying that, oh, we have all our 2,000 complete, nothing is missing. All our data is full. Now, the shape of the data, the number of rows, 2,000 rows and what? 8 columns. 2,000 rows and what? And 8 columns. .d types. That's why I said you need to register. You need to fill the attendance form, because this helps you to gain access to all of these things that I'm sharing. So you can also go through it while watching the video recording by yourself. So D types tells us what is the data type. Number of rooms, what data type is it? It's telling me that it's an integer, it's a number. Parking space, what is it? It's an integer, it's a number. Width, it's also an integer. Number of conveniences, integer. So basically, that's what this means here. Then here is just for me to see extra details about the data. All the columns I have, their title. Okay, all the columns that I have. Then this one finally, what's the word now? Further explains the previous parts where we did .info, df.info, where we have 2,000 non-null, 2,000 non-null. Now, so what I have here basically is, oh, it's telling me number of room, nothing is empty, 0. Parking space, nothing is empty. Width, nothing is empty. Number of conveniences, nothing is empty. And we can also attest to the fact that all my data is completely filled out, right? All my data is completely filled out. What is the essence of doing all these things? Remember, I want my system to learn. So even me that wants the system to learn, I should have an insight to the data I'm giving to the system. Now, after looking at your data from top to bottom, length and breadth, you understand, is there any empty parts? No empty parts. Is there anything I need to remove, and all of that? Do I need to do anything? The next thing that is expected of you to do from my slide, if you remember, is called exploratory data analysis. Now, what is exploratory data analysis? Let me give an example of that. I travel, I stay in Lagos currently. I'm in Lagos, Nigeria. If I travel to, let's say, Port Harcourt, the first day I'm getting there, I'm obviously a JJC. I don't know anything, I don't know anywhere, but I need to explore. I need to check where's the next closest restaurant to maybe my hotel, right? I want to check, oh, where's the place where I can watch match on Saturday or tomorrow, Champions League? Where's the next closest place where I can go to watch football? Is there a national stadium if I want to visit? Is there a gym if I want to visit? Having to ask all these questions to have understanding of my environment in terms of data is called exploratory data analysis. So let's quickly look at what I've done briefly, so that we can really go to some other important things. Now, I've been able to look at the distribution of the price. In data science terms, or in data analytics terms, this is called a symmetrical data. Why is it symmetrical? Because of this shape that I can see here. And I did this with Python. I did not use my pen or my paper to draw. It's Python that drew this thing. What did I just do? I gave the data, right? I explained the type of diagram I'm expecting, a hist plot. Okay, which is in normal term, a histogram in statistics. Because I've given Python the type of data diagram I'm expecting for one particular column of my data, which is the price column of my data. It took everything, my 2000 price column, all right, everything I have there, and it gave me this diagram. Now I'm able to tell that my data is balanced. Why? Because of this shape. Looking at this shape alone, as a professional, it tells you that your data is balanced. I have a question from Medina. I'll take that question. It tells me that my data is balanced. So statistically, looking at this, I can tell that, okay, I'm good to go with what next I want to do. Once you see a data that holds this kind of structure, it shows that the data is symmetrical or balanced. Okay? Another way to call it is called a normally distributed data. Now, so here I just went further for more analysis and exploration of the data. Okay, the location, based on location, right? Based on location. How many in location 5? 418. In location 2, 406. In location 1, 406. In location 4, 387. And location 3, we have 383 apartments, all right, in all of these locations. Then I used another graph or another diagram to explain all of these locations that I have here. Right? Don't forget, all these things you would have access to them only if you fill the attendance form. Now, for data analytics and data science, this is the most important part. It's called a heat map. Very, very important. You cannot do without it. Okay, you cannot do without this guy. What does it do? Let me quickly explain to you. Right? Let me quickly explain to you. It shows the correlation. So I have my features, if you remember, and I have my target. My features to my target. I want to see, for example, number of rooms. What is the correlation between number of rooms and price? Is there any relationship between number of rooms and price? What kind of relationship do I have there? So if you look at it now, let me reduce this for a bit so that we can all go through together and see the diagram in full. So let's look at this. Yeah, I have number of rooms. Then at the bottom, right, I have price here. So look at it, number of rooms. If I trace it to 0.41 and I trace it down to price, this is where they meet at 0.41. Abi? So what that tells me is that there is a relationship. Why? First of all, it's positive. It means that if number of rooms increase, the price would also increase. That's what this plus 0.41 means. What does that mean? Let me explain in layman terms. Dollar rate in Nigeria. Dollar increases, transportation increases, food prices increases, fuel price increase, and all. The correlation is that as one goes up, the other also goes up. When one comes down, the other one comes down. That is a positive correlation. They move in the same direction. When number of rooms is increasing, so if I'm renting one room and the person renting 3 rooms, we're not expected to pay the same price. The guy renting 3 rooms or 4 rooms will pay higher than me who is renting 1 room. So the correlation is what is calculated with this heat map. Do you get? Look at this width. Width is what? 0.81, which means the wider your space, the higher your money. The wider your space, the higher your money. Look at this guy. Building age is not really a factor, minus 0.07. It's not really a factor. In fact, if you bring this to Nigerian context, people will really prefer old. For example, if you are house hunting, you can agree with me that if you are renting a new apartment, the rooms are always smaller. in Lagos. The rooms for new apartments are usually smaller. So people prefer old model flats where the rooms are bigger, you have multiple toilets, you have a dining section. That's olden days building. All right. In recent time, everybody is managing, but they always want higher price. So the rooms are usually smaller and the like. So building age is not necessarily a factor that determines our price, whether it's going up or down. So that's correlation. And how you can visualize a correlation is to use what is called a heat map. Is to use heat map. All right. So this part of our project, we are simply training and we are splitting the data first. Into two things, what is called train, test, split. Okay. I'm experiencing bad network. Really? Sorry, give me a second. Let me check my network. Okay, I think it's because a few calls have been I've popped into my device. That's why. Okay, so I mentioned what train, test, split. What is train, test, split? This part, what we are basically doing is we are dividing our data into feature and target. What is my feature? Number of rooms, number of conveniences, width, location, distance to center, right? Those are my features. The target, what I'm really looking for is to target price. So here I'm saying, okay, I want to quickly expand this. Sorry. Okay. So here now I'm saying, okay, X is everything except price. Everything in my data except price. So I'm saying from my X, help me to drop price column from the data, remove price column from the data. Then I'm saying that price column that I've removed from my data, come and put it in Y. So X contains everything that is my feature, then Y contains only the target. Y contains only the target. Now, in this part, another very vital step, train, test, split. Remember my explanation for WAEC. The student studies, then goes to the exam, uses past question, then takes the exam, right? So I'm dividing my data into what am I going to use to train my model. When I'm done training my model, I need to be able to test that the model is working fine. So that's why I have training. So I have this 2000 data has been divided into training and testing. So permit me to quickly add something so that we can see the split itself. Permit me to quickly add something so we can see the split. So if I say print X train, oh, this guy is very funny. X train.shape. So you can see that even AI knows everything that I want to do, right? Even my Google Colab gives you the access to this, by the way. So look at that. It's saying that my train data, I'm training 1,600 and I'm testing on what? On 400. So a child that, or a student that wants to write WAEC would have studied past question from, let's say, 2000 down to 2024. The essence of studying past question from 2000 to 2024 is only to go and answer 50 questions. So what I'm training is much more than what I'm testing on. Okay, you go to tutorial center for like 6 months to prepare for exam, and the exam is just maybe 3 hours. Do you get the point now? So I'm training 1,600, and after I'm sure that my data, my model has understood the training based on 1,600, I will now test it on what? On 400 to check out that, oh, what we have tested is actually good or is working and it's fine. Now, for this session, I'm using one model. There are multiple models. Maybe I'm going to just quickly mention, we have multiple models. Exactly. In order to get familiar. Fantastic, Medina. Exactly. So what are the models? We have random forests. Don't worry about the names. They are not nothing. I'll show you something now. We have random forest. We have logistic regression, right? We have logistic regression. We have what is called XGBoost, right? We have decision tree, and so on and so forth. A lot of models. And for this problem, we are using linear regression. Linear regression is also one of the models. And linear regression is usually used when you're calculating things like price. Okay, you apply linear regression. So here is where I am. And these things, you can't see them. You don't see them. This is where I'm training the model already. Now, let me quickly skip all of these. I was trying to do a test there that eventually worked out, but it's not relevant for now. Okay, so after training my model, this is where I use my model to carry out prediction, right? Now, 3 vital things that you need after training your model is what I have here. This guy, my MSE, MAE, and R2. MSE simply means mean squared error between my actual data and the prediction that my model is giving me. What is the margin of error that I have there? So both MSE and MAE, mean absolute error, helps me to measure that margin of error. Then R2 score measures the accuracy of my model. How accurate is what I've done? Let me take it again. MSE, mean squared error. MAE, mean absolute error. They simply measure the margin of errors between the actual data and the predicted data. Remember that at the top, I have my data, my 2000 data. That 2000 data, I splitted it into 1600 and 400, right? That 1600 is my actual data. If my model is going to make any prediction, if I have a value in that 1600, let's say I have 3000, and my model gives me a value like 5000, the error, what is the error rate of my model when I compare it with my actual data? That's why we are measuring mean squared error and mean absolute error. Then R2 score is simply to give me the accuracy of the model. So let me look at what we have here. The evaluation is telling me that mean squared error is 0.00. Mean absolute error is 0.00. R squared is what? 1.00. You see, in the real world sense, you may not have any data, okay, that will give you these results again. What this means is that 0 errors, mean squared, whether you square the error or you give me just the absolute value. This guy telling me that I don't have any margin of error at all, that it is correct completely. R2 score, remember, is what? Checking accuracy. He's telling me that by percentage, my model has performed 100% accurate. And like I said, except for the type of data you are given to work with, the chances that you will get 1.0 or 100% is very, very slim when you are predicting. Now, what this means is that our model is accurate. Now, in order to verify these facts, I had to do what is called another level of evaluation. What is that level of evaluation? To say, okay, when I trained you, what did you score? When I tested you, what did you score? We trained you on 1600. You know that, of course, if our student is learning during tutorial, when they check past question and all, you will mark, you give them a score. During the exam, after the exam, they get their exam score. So the idea here is that in data science, in modeling, if your training score is higher than your testing score, which means the student notebook in tutorial center is getting 90%, 95%. When he entered JAMB hall for exam, he came out with 60%. All right, that means that that data is overfitting. If the guy knows very well in the exam, scores 95 in exam, but during tutorial in the lesson, he used to score 50%, you know that when he entered the exam, he has already copied, he has carried something. That was why he scored more in exam. That is underfitting. So there's overfitting and underfitting. But look at what we have here. Both my training and my testing, they both gave me 100 over 100 each. So which means my model is actually correct based on this data. So I've tested for overfitting, I've tested for underfitting. I've seen that both training and test score is giving me the same. When we were in tutorial center, when this guy was learning, he scored 100. When we gave him money to go to jam center for his exam, he came back with that same 100. No overfitting, no underfitting. So I've tested to be sure that this is what? That this is very, very accurate. Now, the final thing that we want to do is now we supplied some data to this guy. Having supplied this, okay, we say, okay, let number of rooms be 3 rooms, parking space be 1, let the width be 150, let the number of convenience be 2, let the building age be 15 years, distance to city center be 10 kilometers, the location be 3. If we predict based on this, what is likely to be the house price? Look at this. It says the predicted price for the new apartment is what? $555,000. Now, in order to make you see that, okay, this thing is not just what I've written here. What I skipped the other time that I told you about is me building an app that helps me to share this experience with people. All right. Now, so that app is web enabled. I'll quickly go to the app. Here it is. Let me quickly reload. Let me quickly reload this. So you can see my name there, created by Daffy, hosted by Streamlit, house price prediction. So let's increase now, number of rooms. So based on my model, I saved my model, right? And I used it to build this web app that I can use within, let me take this down. Let me just put in any value. Number of conveniences, 2 is fine. Building age, let me increase this. Distance in kilometers, let me increase this. Okay, location, look at the location that we have. City center, and then 5 is what? Outskirts, which means this place is like Ikeja, Anthony, Surulere. Then 5 is like Badagry, Ikorodu, and the likes. Okay, so let me put it at 3 and then click on predict price. It has given me the price, 422,000. So from end to end, from data gathering to exploratory data analysis, to training and testing, to splitting the data, to model evaluation, to deploying the app, you can see how in a glance it is possible for you to create predictions. I mean, something like this, and you can do it across any industry. You can do it across any industry. The last time I walked someone through this was, let me see if I still have it, a diabetes risk prediction. The risk at which a client is, or a patient rather, is likely to have diabetes or not. And we walked through that end to end as well. I might not be able to do that now because our time is fast spent. Okay, now if you followed to this point and this whole experience is new, yet is very, very sense making, give me a thumbs up. It's new to you, but it's still very, very educative, informative, and sense making to you. Give me a thumbs up. Thank you very much, Sheon Olurotimi. Well done. Yeah, Mustafa, I think you want to give me a thumbs up as well. Amazing, guys. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So this is how I think. Right? This is how I approach problems. This is how I approach predicting models. And this is what I share with the owner of an organization that, oh, you know what? I've already built a model and I've transferred my model from code into an app that can enable you, that can enable you to work with at any time. So once someone is coming, let's imagine that we have a real estate company that we are working at. Someone is coming to say, oh, I want this, I want that. Just send him this link. Put it. You already know the price that you're working with already. I don't need to tell you the price. My app will predict for you. You know what the price is. Let's just talk about business. In Nigerian context, let's talk about agency, fee, commission, caution, and the likes. But my app has already told you what your price would be based on your specification, based on what you want. Okay, so let me quickly jump back to my slide. We've already looked at end-to-end, what you can achieve, okay, with predicting a data or building a predictive model. And this is basically how the whole story for me started. Like I said, it's mainly about being able to sit with top level executives to share this idea. Oh, this is what I did. This is how I achieved it. This is the result of this prediction or this analysis. This is how I think is going to impact the business. This is my recommendation to you. This is what I think should be the action point. Top level executives are sitting down and they are listening to you share these ideas. Okay, so my slide here in rounding off says that the career path you choose determines if you get a job in the final path of this year, which is what, 2025. So let's quickly look at a few statistics here. According to the World Economic Forum, all right, according to the World Economic Forum, is saying that there is job available for you. And it's predicting that jobs in data will increase by 35% by the year 2030. So if you think, oh, data they are overemphasizing it, they are stretching it too much. World Economic Forum is saying, don't worry, in 2030, the growth will be by a massive 35%. And my advice to you, right, as an African, as a fellow Nigerian, is to look for careers. If you want to get into tech, look for careers in data analytics, business analysis, data science. These are the roles that, we are looking at that projection of 35% by 2030. All right. So quickly here, I have, I have Esther. Esther is an alumni of Nebient Analytics. She finished from the School of Nursing. So for someone that is thinking, oh, me that I studied agricultural science, how do I want to come and start running codes and doing predictions and all of that? Right? Here we have Esther that finished from the School of Nursing. Right? From the School of Nursing. And of course, we know the story. She wanted more and she joined a program with Nebient Analytics in the month of February as a data analyst. She joined the data analytics program. And then 3 months later, in May of this year, between February and May, Esther was able to land a role at Prawa as an M&E analyst. Without even going too far, just last week, a student of ours got interviewed, all right, into a role as a data analyst with MoneyPoint, the same MoneyPoint that you know. Same student started a program here in the month of April. And this is September. That same student got interviewed into a role with MoneyPoint. Now, Naomi here works outside of the country as an Anglophone, all right, in a Francophone country. Now, which means she doesn't speak French, but she works in a French-speaking company. Now, she was being overlooked and relegated because of that language barrier and all. So she decided to leave and work remotely. What did she do? This is a very special case to me because her strategy is mind-blowing. I've never experienced something like that. She joined business analysis, right? She didn't take data science. And of course, if you are scared of writing code, it's fine. She joined the business analysis program. Now, look at what happened to her. In March of this year, 2025, her company noticed her presence on LinkedIn, which means it was not a CV thing. She did not apply. She did not need to apply. just by talking, just by posting, just by speaking about a skill, how she can help businesses to skill up or to scale up. Our own company noticed these things that she has been posting. And what did they do? They created a new department for her and they made her the head of that department. Right? That's her story. Now, why am I talking about data analytics, business analysis, data science? And it's because, of course, I've told you one of them is because I get to sit with top level executives, all right, to discuss business projection, business plan, give recommendations and the like. I'm more like a consultant to the business, to the company. So personally, I see myself as a company. I might be working under an organization, but I'm a company because you need my skill. You need my expertise to scale up, all right, to take decisions. Number one is the fact that it's easy to learn. All right, it's easy to learn. Number two is that it is easy to transition. Number three is that it has what great salary projections. So alongside everything that I have said, these are like the three key things that you should put at the back of your mind. Okay, Sean says, can we have information on the discounted slot on time? Okay, I'll quickly move to that. Let me quickly rush through this. Now, Joseph, yes, I'll take your question. I'll take your question in a few minutes. So these are the things you are likely to learn, okay, for data analytics, Microsoft Excel, SQL, Power BI, Tableau, Looker Studio, and AI for data analytics. The next part is for data science, you are learning Microsoft Excel, SQL, Tableau, Python, all right, GitHub for version control, and AI for data science. Then for business analysis, you are learning Microsoft Excel, SQL, Power BI, you are learning Microsoft Azure Data Studio, you are learning, what's this thing called now? I forgot the name. And then finally, AI as well. Exactly, Draw.io for process mapping. Okay, so I've given a lot of this. Like I said, fill in the form, you're going to get all of these things. So let's quickly just move to where everybody's interested in. If you get the form, you get this slide, you can study, you can go through in your own personal time, right? You can go through your own personal time. So these are the things that you need to do. Start learning, brand yourself, put yourself out there, apply, and then, you know, she got a job offer in May of 2025. Here I have Oluwaseun, who is also our student and alumni of our program, worked as a microfinance back risk officer. Then we met as a physical event on the island. This was last year, 2024, right? And I mean, he has been able to get multiple contracts as a business analyst here at Nebient Analytics. All right, so let me just quickly move to some of the things that you are going to get. Yes, very important. Some of the things that you are looking out for when you start the training. Number one is what? Lifetime interview preparation. What this means is that even if you have finished your training and you've collected your certificate, okay, it's not just bye-bye to you. Whenever, so long as you have Nebient Analytics somewhere, you have an affiliation with Nebient Analytics, you get lifetime interview preparation. Anytime you have an interview, you can always reach out and trust us to prepare you for that interview. In fact, we would have a mock interview session with you. Access to all your training materials, the videos, the codes, the slides, everything that you need that has been created during the training will be shared to you. You also have lifetime access to recommendation letters and also an alumni mentorship program. Okay, so to the next part now. The journey is for 4 months, right? The journey is for what? It's for 4 months, and the classes usually starts 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. All right, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. You have Sundays where we share pre-recorded videos called Do As I Do, DID videos for you to watch. On Saturday, you have a session with a facilitator, just like we have had just now, explaining processes and concepts, teaching you in details, not just going through it the way I just did. In details, everything word for word, letter for letter. Then on Tuesday, like tomorrow, we are going to be having what is called a technical support session. Here we're looking at supporting our students that have challenges, maybe watching the video or following through with the class material, and the likes. Then on Thursday is our mentorship session that is usually held for all our students. Now we have learning platform, Google Classroom, and our self-built LMS, where our students can access all their materials, watch videos, reach out to their facilitator, ask questions, and all of that. And everything is accessible to you. So if you have this slide that I have, after this session, you're going to be able to see all the full course brochure, which means the curriculum, everything you are going to be learning, you see once you click on this link that we have there. So you can always go back to review all of this portfolio and see what our students have built. I would have loved to mention more, but it seems like everyone really wants to get into the program and we're all interested in getting into class. Like I said, our next class is starting, and which is likely the last class for the year 2025. The reason is because it is 3 months and 1 extra month for internship. So October, November, December, 3 months for training. By the time we resume to work in January, you are having a 1 month internship program. Okay, then before the end of that January, job opportunities and vacancies would have been posted to your class group so that you can start applying. And the hope is that by the end of the month of January, at most, you have already been able to land a role as either a data analyst, a data scientist, or a business analyst. So like I said in the beginning, if you are like me, who wants to start as soon as possible, I think you want to start looking at how you can get into class for the month of October, 4th of October, like I have in my slide, 2025. Please, 4th of October, 2025. Okay, you don't want to miss out on that. It's very, very vital. So that as you are rounding off the year and maybe praying to God on the 31st of December, one of your prayer points is, God, a tech job in January. It's not like, oh, I'm still looking at, and maybe I will start next 3 months, I will start next 2 months. You have started, you have completed. It is now in your diary to land a role. It's now in your diary to land a role. So let's look at this now. How much exactly does all of this cost? On a normal day, I would have asked for people to share their opinion. Maybe you should just type in the comment section. Let me see what you think. Everything that I have shared, everything I've mentioned, the way the session has gone, what do you think is your price projection for a program like this? What do you think? Maybe you want to just quickly type so that we can go to question and answer in the next 5 minutes. Quickly type. Let me see. What do you think your price projection for this is likely to be? Maybe if I see 1 or 2 persons projection, I'll be able to to tell. Okay, Bankole says 100K each. Okay, fantastic. I like that. That makes sense. Garba says 10,000 naira bonus combo. Juliet says 50,000. Okay, that makes sense. Maybe one more and then I'll go. Maybe one more and then I would move on. One more, just one more. Anybody? Nana says 1 million naira. Okay. Emmanuel says, speaking from maybe experience with, okay, I'm not sure I got that. I would say 150. Fantastic. All right. We all have amazing price projections. All right. We all have amazing price projections. And I would not say anybody's right. I would not say anybody's wrong. Okay. Somebody says 150. Somebody says 200. Somebody says 40K. Let's go. Let's go. Now, the original price is actually 350,000. And to answer, I think it's Garba or someone that mentioned 10,000 each or 100,000 each. Okay. So it's not 100,000 each. You cannot learn each. Even me, as I speak to you, I'm not a business analyst. I am a data analyst and a data scientist. Give me anything in business analysis, I will fumble. All right. Data science, data analytics. You cannot, and how? It's because I started out my career as a data analyst. Then I built myself to become a data scientist. However, now with Nabiant, that was because I was 2018. There was no Nabiant analytics to help me then. Now that there's Nabiant analytics, if you learn data analytics, you are very, very good. If you learn data science, in fact, the expectation is that as a data scientist, you can also do the job of a data analyst. So for me, data science is like a combination of data analytics and data science. Data analytics is a standalone skill or career. Business analysis is a standalone skill or career. However, a business analyst is also expected to know data analytics. Now, so if you're learning any of this one, data science alone is what costs 350K. Data analytics alone costs 350K. Business analysis alone costs 350K. However, for the purpose of being on this call, till this point for that matter, and for those that gave me a thumbs up in the beginning that, oh, we are ready to start as soon as possible. If I can start tomorrow, I'm willing. You see, that 350K would be a lot to ask. And not because it is not a good price. It's a very, very fantastic price. In fact, if you go to other programs or other schools, as it were, ed tech firms, you will get it much more expensive than it is. Coupled with the fact that we have various value propositions to give. Lifetime access to interview, lifetime access to all your materials, CV revamp, LinkedIn optimization materials, portfolio building, and everything. It's all supposed to come for this 350K. But for those that will say, you know what, I want to join this October class, which is like the last class for this year. I don't want to carry over this desire into the next year. You are not going to pay 350,000. Instead, you will be paying 250,000. So there is an 100,000 naira discount giving out. Now, 250K tonight to start tomorrow in October is a lot, no problems. You can split it into 3. And please note, it is only for those on this call, which means I am willing to jump on that offer to start, okay? But I don't have 250K sitting there in my account for a course. Split it into 3 payments. Between now and October 4th, when the class will start, 85,000. Then 1 month later, 85,000. Then another 1 month later, 80,000. Now, good. Emmanuel says, must it be 3 installmental? This is what I can do for you. I can break it. See, everything I'm saying is only exclusive to this call. Once we all end this session, if you don't make a decision, if you don't tell me what you want to do and how we should go about it, you are going to be paying 350K because that's the original price for the program. So whatever I'm doing on this call is simply to help us see how we can break down this 250, which is the discount for those in this session. If you can't speak to me in this session and give me your word here and now, you are going to be paying the original price, which is 350K. Now, for those on this call that are willing to jump on it, I can give you a 4-part installmental plan. What is the 4 parts? Between this night and tomorrow, if you can make a payment of 30,000 for a start, right? 30,000. Then by the time class wants to start in October, before the class starts, pay 55,000. So you can now rest for the first 85,000. So 30K first, then 55K. right? Then you rest. The next 1 month, 85K. The next 1 month again, 80K. All right. So these are the ways I can break it down for you. If you have the money to pay at once now, it's fine. There is no problem. But remember, like I said, the 3 parts instrumental payments, the 4 parts instrumental payments, which I just gave out of my own volition, is only exclusive to this call. So if this makes sense to you, you maybe want to give me a thumbs up, type in the comment section, I'm interested, so that I can see how we can follow up and get you started right here and right now. Just quickly, okay, Musa, I'm not sure I can pronounce that, but Garba has given me a thumbs up. So you want to probably type in the comment section, I'm interested, give me a thumbs up. Let us see how well we can support you to doing that. Meanwhile, whether you want to pay 30K tonight or you want to pay 85K tonight, the account number is there, all right, to secure your discount, 30K, to secure your discount. Joseph, I'm coming. I'll take your question. That's also my WhatsApp number. Immediately you make the transfer, you can send me a receipt to my WhatsApp number, all right? That's my WhatsApp number. You can send me a message, send me your receipt after doing your transfer of 30K. Please remember, it is only for those on this call right here and right now. Okay, right here and right now. So Joseph, I think I can take your question now. I already have a question from Medina. Joseph, please. Your hand has been raised a number of times. You can go ahead with your question now, while the others still make their decision. I have about 30 people on the call. I started with 30. I'm still left with 30. So we can. Okay, so I have questions coming in. Let me go to the comments. All right. Medina says she would really have been interested. Okay, but she would wait till next year. Well, when she comes back next year, she will be paying 350,000. This is the last session for the year, like I said, and it's going tonight. Is going for 250K. All right, and the 250K you can break it down into installments. Now, Bankole says, is the lecture on this Google Meet? Yes, the lecture is on, it's virtual platforms are being used to receive lectures because we're trying to build a remote work culture. So the essence is that at the end of your training, we're not expecting you to go and start getting into traffic and going to the office, and the likes and all of that. So the idea is, let's start building that remote work culture from now. So the lectures will be held on Google Meet, just like what you have had, the same experience, explaining, you can ask questions, and the likes. So it's a virtual class. Sheon says, I attend your session, it's really educative and I really enjoy it. But how true are your promises of supporting to become better till they secure employment? Well, you can go back to this slide. I believe that, Sheon, you have filled the attendance form. So when you go back to this slide, just roll backwards to everything I've talked about, and the students, you can check their portfolio and what they've been able to build. All right, what they've been able to build. They all built something different, and they were confident enough in what we gave them that they shared it back to us. Right, so let me quickly just click one just for you to see. They were confident enough to share their portfolio, with us. So look at, this is Oluwadamilare's portfolio, a student, or I would say an alumni now, because he has completed his program. He's a skilled data analyst with a passion for transforming complex data, and all of that. Introduction about himself. Okay, look at his portfolio, the things that he did while he was in the program with us, all the projects that he was able to complete. So if you are still doubting, once you get this material, don't worry, it's yours. you can go through everything and look at what each of the students have been able to achieve so far and what they were able to do while they were in the program with us. So he has a number of them. Okay, so for a student to also include his resume, that shows you that he's giving you a vote of confidence that he knows what he has gotten from you. And this is just one person, by the way. You have multiple others that you can also check out by yourself. I'm sure they also have their LinkedIn accounts. You can connect with them on LinkedIn and ask further questions if that's the challenge here. Okay, so Emmanuel says, I'm currently trying to get a date for my PMP exam, which I just paid for with membership fee to can it be adjusted? Well, Emmanuel, so get my number. Let me quickly go back to that part where my number is. So you tell me when you want the adjustment to be made. Okay, you said something about adjustment. So quickly take a screenshot. I want you to tell me when you want the adjustment to be made. If it's something possible that I can do, then I would have to speak to the team on your behalf. However, my job is actually meant for tonight, okay, to guide you through for tonight. But please reach out to me, Emmanuel, so that we can discuss that. Ugochukwu said, I feel we should be given some time to think and know what we're paying for. Well, Ugochukwu, you are right, and you are maybe not right as well. You're right because you need to think as well. I mean, everybody does that. So if you are really interested, like I said to Emmanuel, and I mean, coincidentally, you are also Emmanuel. Like I said, you can reach out to me when you want to think and you want to get back to me. Let me know. The point is, I have a slot for a number of students I'm expecting in my class when we resume on the 4th of October, right? If you are going to tell me you want to think about it, what happens when someone else is taking that slot? Will I say, oh, sorry, I have someone that is thinking about it. Let me wait for that person to finish thinking before I collect your own money and register you, right? So I would not want to have such experiences, right? So I would not want to have such experiences, which is the reason why the discount also counts for tonight. But like I told Emmanuel, please reach out to me. Let me know what the situation is. But it is only if you are sure that you are interested in getting into class. There will be no point reaching out to me and you are not even saying anything close to getting into class or asking questions about the project or the program. You are saying something else entirely. So strictly for the purpose of, oh, I want to secure my slots, I'm looking at this timeline to this timeline. Is it achievable? Then I'll give you a response on that note. Okay, but that is going to just Emmanuel that has spoken. Now, Bankole says some people prefer physical class in order to have more understanding. A simple question I will ask you is, with the little I've shared today, did you understand or were you able to pick something out of the session? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, that already tells you that you are going to have your understanding and you are not only depending on this class. Okay, what I mean is when your facilitator teaches you, you are not only depending on this session. We're looking at, like I said, technical support sessions. That one holds every Tuesday, which means if by chance you don't understand, you can come on that call with your facilitator and ask questions again. The person will re-explain these things to you. Aside that, after they are done teaching you for the day on Saturday class, the recording for that Saturday class will be sent to you. So you can still relax, sit back and watch, maybe later in the evening, that Saturday or Sunday, watch the video, right? So that's 2 layers already. Aside that, on Sunday, if you are going to learn, for example, you want to learn SQL this week, Saturday, from Sunday, a recorded video on SQL will be sent to you. We have already recorded the videos. They will be shared. Oh, SQL is this. This is what to do. This is how you go about it. All the videos explains everything. Then on Saturday, the facilitator will now come with a new project on SQL from start to finish. You guys will do it together. So between that Sunday to Saturday, you are watching recorded video. On Saturday, you are working with your facilitator in the class. Then on Tuesday, if you still have questions, you can ask during the technical support session. Do you get? So it's not just one class and then we leave you till the next week. No, there is always something to cover up for any space that you might have, or to also ask questions from your facilitator and all of that, right? Sheon says, can I also private chat you? Well, yes, you are free to private chat me. Let's talk about getting into the program. Please, it's okay for you to private chat me. So Diamond Philip, you started the session, if I'm correct. I've not heard from you. Or more or less sure, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Akim, you started, but I've not heard from you. Bankole, okay, I've heard from Bankole. Paul, what's going on? You guys should tell me what's up. Have you paid? Have you made the transfer? Or you are texting me? In fact, the number of persons texting me, they are becoming many. I need people that would actually jump on this offer right here and right now. Adeni Akin Tade, I'm not sure. What's the problem? What's the situation? Do you want to unmute your mic and share with me what it is so that we can discuss? Lasisi Abiodun, I have like 5 minutes to round off the session. So if you want to talk to me, please. Yes, Diamond Philip.
Yeah, did the payment of the 30K yesterday? No, on Sunday actually. On Sunday. Did the payment on Sunday.
Oh, congratulations. So that's Diamond Philip. He has made the payment on Sunday. So congratulations to you. We are looking forward to having an amazing time with you and, doing big things in the data space together. Welcome on board. Welcome, Diamond Philip. So, that's guys. That's one person already gone. I have 3 people on the waiting list that will text me already, but I still have 26 other persons on the call that have not given me a response yet. And my target is actually to make sure that 10 people get into this program and start their journey. Okay, so Paul, do you want to share with me what's up? Sheon says she would or he would reach out to me. But then Lasisi Abiodun Adeniyi, what's going on? Talk to me. Don't think about the price. Like I said, based on price, it is not a cost, it's an investment. I think someone mentioned it in the chat that he would love to invest in this. It's an investment, trust me. I have Adebayo here. Peter. I have Peter here. I have Chika, Dami, David Okoyemi, Alexander. Okay. So please, guys, what's going on? Do you want to talk to me? Olufemi Victoria, Oninyechi, talk to me. What's going on? What is the situation? What do you want me to, what do you want us to talk about? Is it the price? Is it the timing? What exactly is the situation that you want us to look into so that we can always see how we can create something out? Sorry, excuse me. For you.
Can I speak?
Yes, please go ahead, Chika.
All right. I came in very, very late. All right.
Okay.
My question is, after the training, sorry, excuse me. So after the training, what are the benefits for the students?
Okay, let me quickly give up. All right, great. That makes sense. That's a nice question. So let me quickly go back to where I have our value propositions. First of all, now, so you see what I have here, lifetime interview preparation, whether you are in training or you are done with your training. Oh, I trained as a data analyst. I have an interview with XYZ company for the role of a data analyst. I'm scared. I don't know how to approach the interview. Speak to your facilitator, speak to any member of the team. We will schedule you for a mock interview preparation session. All right, tell you how to approach the interview. and every other thing like that. As a matter of fact, this Thursday, I will be speaking with some of our students in our mentorship program on interview preparation. I'll be speaking in that session this Thursday, right? So we already have these things on ground. All your training materials are yours whenever you need them. Oh, I'm on the job. In fact, if you have challenges, it's not about learning and saying goodbye after getting your certificate. Oh, I've landed a job. I'm experiencing this challenge. I need support with this and that. Reach out again. We will always walk you through. We are not, the essence of Nebiant Analytics is not to train you and tell you goodbye. The essence of Nebiant Analytics is not to give you certificates. It's to help you, provide value wherever you find yourself, and to also help you increase your value. Okay? Now, so if you have challenges on the job, you can always reach out. We would help you out, because it doesn't make sense to say, oh, I learned at Nebiant. Now I have gotten a job. Finally, they are paying me 500K, but I have a problem. I don't even know how to solve it. Who do I run to? Run back to us. We will put you through. We were the one that led you to that point. So we'll also be available to lead you out of that challenge. Okay, recommendation letter. Oh, I'm moving from this company to the other company. They're asking me for a recommendation letter. No worries about that. Lifetime alumni mentorship. That one is stable. Now, aside this, get your certificate. Okay, does all this require certificate after learning to get job? I'll come back to that question. Now, you get your certificate. You have access to a tech previewed CV. Like I mentioned, a student just got an interview with MoneyPoint. The CV he used, we give our students that CV template to also use, as well as all of these people that I have in my slides. I'm talking about Naomi, Esther, Oluwaseun. The CV they use, we give that to our students to give them access to what interviews. Aside that, we help them build a portfolio. You saw the portfolio of the person I showed you a couple of minutes ago, something like this. This is his own design. The way he thinks is very much different from mine. This is my own portfolio right here. All right. The way you can approach designs is very, very different from one person to the other. Right. Let me just go to my home page so you would see what my own home page looks like. So this is my own portfolio that I share whenever I want to interview or whenever I'm applying for a job. All right, just share this portfolio, come to portfolio here, and then it tells you a lot. I think I'm going to have to revamp this anytime soon. All right, and then I have all my projects and everything that I have done so far. And of course, like I said, this is the approach for this guy. If you go through the slide for this session, different students with their own design, but we do the material to create this. Then finally, we also give materials to optimize your LinkedIn. So all of these things are all endless. And once you get started, they are yours forever. Okay, so these are like the value propositions and everything that you are going to get access to, aside the fact that you are still going to learn all your tools, in depth from zero to professional level. Okay, have I been able to answer your question, Chika?
Very well. I think I need one more. I have one more question.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
It's one thing to actually learn this thing, and finding a job is another project of its own. So do you people help in guiding one on how to search for jobs?
Okay, so for guidance, yes, absolutely. Okay, absolutely. You get guidance. Like I said, that's the essence for interview preparation. When you do your CV, right, we usually request for our students to submit it. Let us review. We do a review with our students. Oh, change this, include this, remove this, and all of that, just to make sure that it is presentable enough and competitive enough to land you interviews, right? We have challenges, 30 days challenge to boost your visibility on LinkedIn, and how that helps people to see you as a professional in that particular field. That also boosts your chance of landing a job. The essence of the interview preparation also cannot be overemphasized. The materials for building your portfolio is also part of the thing. We also post job opportunities, and should in case any external company calls to Nebians for recommendations, we'll also recommend some of our best students for these opportunities. So guidance is, that's basically the industry we are in, to guide you through everything, both from learning to becoming a professional to landing a job. We try as much as possible to cover all of these aspects.
I think I'm fine. Thank you.
Oh, fantastic, Chika. So are you also looking at getting started with the October cohort?
I don't think I no plans on October. I might be looking towards the end of the year.
Towards the end of the year. Okay, like I said, like I said earlier, this is most likely the last session for the year, the last program for the year, except something new comes up. But the truth is, this is because it's the last 3 months of the year. We want to use it to focus on the students that we have to round off the year and prepare them for their for internship in the month of January. So most likely there will be no other program this year. Now, what you can do, okay, like I said before, either look towards the instrumental payment, because that's, you have access to that for tonight, right? Look towards that angle because you have access to that. Or you may want to text me later and let's talk about this thing and see how best we can, come up with something that would suit you. All right. The goal at the end of the day is that by the time you are starting the new year 2026, the projection is I'm job hunting, or I'm landing a role, or I'm in an interview or something. That's the projection, not to start the new year. And that's when you want to start your own class. Okay. That already takes another 3 months away from the new year. That takes another 3 months away from the new year. So, you want to look at that and maybe let's talk about it and let's see what we can come up with. All right, Chika, is that fine by you?
Yeah. How do I message you directly?
Okay. This is my WhatsApp number. This is my WhatsApp number, so you can just drop a message with me.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. I want to believe you've taken the screenshots. Okay, so Emmanuel, final question I think I'll take for tonight. Okay, Adeni said, how can I use information or data available everywhere on the net to analyze the data and sell my idea to companies to buy, not about getting employed by them? Let's talk about this later. It's going to require me to do extra explanation, Adeni. So I might not have time for that now. It's already past 10. I'm supposed to have shut down this session now. So please, you can book a clarity session and then you can also look at that to have that question answered. So finally, Emmanuel says, does all these require certificates after learning to get job? Because okay, good question there. So tech is not, of course, if how do I put this now? For some specific Nigerian company, they'll be requiring certificates. But trust me, you see this guy here that is called a portfolio. It does much more than what a certificate will do. Right? How do I mean? What you write in your CV is just a document. Okay? It's just a document. But a portfolio tells the organization that, oh, actually, this person is skilled in this thing. He can do it. How do they know? Because they will check through portfolio and see all the things that you have done. So sometimes with or without your certificate, you can land a role. All right. There are cases where people with certificates go for job interviews and they still pick the person without certificate. The reason is because of skill. They need people that can actually get these things done, not about the certificate that you have. Okay, it's skill that tells. The skills matters a lot in tech because it's value you are bringing to the table, not paper. Okay, you are bringing value. So what value are you bringing to the organization? Not about the school you attended or the school you did not attend, right? So for me, and if I were you as an undergraduate, I would even learn data analytics or data science or anything now. Why? Because I'm still in school. That's a market in itself. If I charge people 50K to teach them this thing, trust me, if imagine you are in 200 level and you're going to 400 level, in the next 2 years of being in school, you can make more than that 250K that you are going to pay for this course just by teaching your fellow students or by providing value for them. People will be writing projects. They will need analysis for their projects. You can also do that with them. Make money from there. So your money making starts from when you are in school, not necessarily about whether you are a graduate or undergraduate. So for me, it's also another world for you to make money because you are even in school. And that way you get to meet people, make connections with like-minded people in the data space. And before you know it, by the time you are done with school, you have landed your role. You have also made money from your fellow students. Okay. So yeah, I think that's what I will be. Okay, Emmanuel says the skill wasn't good enough. Well, now you have the opportunity to brighten and sharpen up that skill. I think you should take up the opportunity now. So for those that will be reaching out to me, I'll be looking forward to getting your messages. For those that have made payments, I'll be looking forward to getting a receipt of your payments in my WhatsApp DM. All right, so that we can move forward with enrolling you into the program. Okay, so that will be all from me for this evening. I think it has been an amazing session so far. I look forward to reaching out to and connecting with a whole lot of you, and I also look forward to having you all in class, right, to learn and to get better, and to also start increasing and adding value to yourself and to the organizations that you're going to be joining in the nearest foreseeable future. My end, this will be a good night. All right. Please ensure to share me receipts if you have made payments. Ensure to reach out to me to know the deadline or when you are likely to make the payments so that I can decide if I'm able to reserve a slot for you or not. Okay, enjoy the rest of your night, guys. Good night. Cheers.